Conventional energy sources part 2. In this video we will be discussing about the other natural resources, conventional energy resources apart from coal. As we have earlier discussed that conventional energy resources are namely coal, oil, natural gas, hydropower and nuclear energy, among which we have already discussed in detail about the different stages involved in the production of coal and different various applications of coal. Now in this chapter we will be discussing about oil, natural gas, hydropower, nuclear energy. Advantages and disadvantages of using conventional energy resources, role of energy in economic development and social transformation. It is an important question as per your semester syllabus. Now, before going to talk about the remaining part, let us start from oil. Oil is a versatile fuel and it is used for various purposes in the global level for transportation of vehicles as fuel sources to household cooking purposes, where oil has a very prominent role in everyday life of this 21st century. It constitutes of hydrocarbons, oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur, etc. The world's rate of production of crude oil increased with technology on par but slowed down after 1980 because of this oil crisis. It is estimated that by 2030, 80% of oil reserves will be consumed with its rise in price, resulting in heavy deficit of oil. Natural gas. Natural gas is also a mixture of hydrocarbons and small components in small quantities of non-hydrocarbons which exist either in the gaseous phase or crude oil in natural underground reservoirs. It is a very clean source and hence it emits less CO2 when compared with oil and coal. Natural gas is extracted along with petroleum. Natural gas is extracted along with petroleum oil. It is also called as wet gas. If the gas is not associated with crude oil, it is called as dry gas. After removing propane, propene and butane, this can be used as LPG gas, which is normally used in our country especially for everyday household purposes, and also nowadays the consumption of natural gas is also increasing for the transport purposes locally. That is, instead of using petrol or diesel in four-wheelers, people have been showing more interest towards natural gas as the mileage of natural gas is far more better than the mileage due to petrol or diesel, and also it is very good as far as the engine of the vehicles is concerned. As a result, there is a high demand for natural gas, because of which the government has also imposed a lot of rules on booking cylinders. These LPGs are not privately natural gas is streamlined through governmental organization, namely HP Gas, and it is at a very high demand in our country especially, when you compare with the other countries. Hydropower. It is generated by making water to fall from very high heights under the force of gravity towards downwards, where turbines are placed at the bottom of the height, and because of the motion of, as the water falls from a very high height, it has very high velocity, which results in motion moving of these turbines, which these turbines are in turn connected to dynamos where current is generated. So in this way electricity is generated using hydropower. Hydropower is a clean and natural source of energy. The major source of electricity utilized today comes from hydropower. Hydropower plants are also classified according to the generation of power as large size plant where electricity of 100 megawatts is generated per day. Medium size where generation of electricity is 50 megawatts. Small size plant will be less than 15 megawatts. There are also another two plants, namely mini plant and macro plant. Mini plant which generates less than 1 megawatt, macro plant which generates less than 0.1 megawatt. Earlier it was only 3 plants, large, medium and small, but due to the problems faced during the transmission of electricity to rural areas, as a part of solution, mini plants and micro hydroelectric plants were designed. These projects also operate as isolated systems, or they may also be connected to the main grid, so it can be used in either of the conditions. The cost of this small hydro plants is very small. It's like it is less than half of usual thermal plant establishment. These power plants are usually established on the waterfalls or at the dams where the water is stored. Example, Srisailam water dam. And hydropower is ideal for electricity generation apart from any other sources, and it costs very low compared to the other generating sources. The main drawback of hydropower plants is deforestation and submergence of various submergence of more villages, and its construction period is also very long, as it cannot be constructed for very usually these hydropower plants are not constructed for a small size. We construct it for large power plants so that the cost of construction and cost of generation comes down. And due to this construction in a natural habitat, there would be an eco imbalance created, and also these dams are the reasons for become reasons for earthquakes also in that particular area where a large plant is constructed. So this is all about, and hence people are looking forward for alternative resources, and there comes the role of renewable energy resources. Nuclear energy resources. Nuclear energy must be, in order to understand nuclear energy, we need to go back to micro level of matter. The smallest matter particle available in nature is called as atom, which is again a composition of electrons, neutrons and protons. And as the we have a periodic table where we can see 119 elements existing on the earth, among which the smaller atoms are more stable compared to the atoms which are having atomic number greater than 85, greater than 82. Now 82 corresponds to the lead, where after 82 the atoms becomes so large that they become unstable to remain in that atomic structure, and hence they start emitting radiations in the form of alpha, beta, gamma, and these radiations are called as radioactive emissions, and these nucleus are called as radioactive nucleus. Now what does these emissions are coming up? The emissions that are emitted by these radioactive elements are namely alpha, beta and gamma, where alpha belongs to proton, beta belongs to electron. The gamma is the most key point which we are concerned in harnessing the energy from nucleus, and this gamma is nothing but photon energy, which can be easily converted into heat energy and can be used for various resources. Now nuclear energy, the word nuclear energy came from this emission from nucleus, and the interesting point is that the emission is done from nucleus usually, and whatever and this emission is also can be done in two types of reactions: nuclear fission reaction, nuclear fusion reaction. As we have already discussed about these two also in detail, let us just go into the topic of what are the radioactive elements that are used for the generation of energy from nucleus. So the radioactive elements, especially uranium, thorium and artificial radioactive element polonium are the main elements that are used in nuclear power plants, and because of which there will be huge amount of energy generated from a very small quantity of radioactive element, which is used in which cannot be directly harnessed but is converted into heat energy. This heat energy is used to obtain steam from water. This steam is allowed to pass through the turbines, and the remaining story is same as our hydropower plants. Nuclear fusion is a reaction which is not so easy to happen on the earth, and the best example for nuclear fusion is sun, where two hydrogen atoms combine to form helium. This combining part is called as fusion, and this fusion will result in liberation of huge amount of energy in terms of million electron volts per any two hydrogen atoms combining, giving rise to single helium atom, give around energy 2.4 mega electron volts. This sort of reactions takes place continuously on the surface of the sun, which is not possible on the earth uh, because it requires lot of amount of energy to be given to the system. But whereas nuclear fission is such a natural process that takes place with these radioactive elements, namely uranium, thorium and plutonium, it requires very less amount of energy to initiate the process. And in general, the nuclear power plants use uranium element in most of the power plants in order to generate the other forms of energy which can be used depending upon the availability and need. And this nuclear energy is entirely different when compared with coal, oil or natural gas, because there is very less emission of smoke or flame or carbon dioxide taking place in this nuclear energy or nuclear fission reactions that take place in nuclear power plants. It is only it can only be said that the emissions are very less but cannot be called as no emissions, because however even this reaction involves some amount of energy to be given to the system and some amount of energy coming out of the system in various forms. There may be some sort of carbon dioxide released, but the amount is negligible when compared with the other conventional energy resources which we use. So, this is all about our conventional energy resources, where we have discussed in detail about the naturally available resources, namely starting from coal, then oil, then natural gas, hydropower plants and nuclear energy. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of conventional energy resources? If we talk about the advantages of conventional energy resources, it is the first best advantage to be talked is its cost. It is cheaper than any non-conventional energy resources, which nowadays are getting a very big boom, and the cost of electrical energy derived from these natural conventional energy resources is as below. Hydropower requires only 1 rupee for 1 kilowatt hour. Nuclear power energy requires 1.2 rupee per kilowatt hour. Coal costs 1.65 rupees per kilowatt hour. Diesel costs 3 rupees per kilowatt hour and gas costs 1.9 per kilowatt hour, which is very high in case of non-conventional energy resources. These resources are also very easy to use, and they have the technology is also developed according to this conversion, that it becomes very easy and it is very convenient for us to use. The storage technology and methods are also very easy and are amicable for the common man to be used. This energy stored will also can be maintained for a given period of time, which is another advantage of using these conventional energy resources, like inverters, which we see nowadays in almost all IT based institutions or offices, where the inverters that are arranged will store the electrical energy whenever the power is on, and once the power is off, these inverter automatically start working, discharging the stored energy, and this This energy can be utilized starting from 2 hours to 5 hours based upon the capacity of our inverter. So inverter is the best storage equipment used nowadays for electricity. Apart from having advantages cost wise, storage wise, convenient wise, there are also high amount of disadvantages or side effects coming out of using these conventional energy resources. Now let us also know about the disadvantages that have been rising up since the starting of the century, and the which have become a very threat to the existence of living on this earth. Now what are the disadvantages? The disadvantages include a lot of pollution that has been emitted continuously by the usage of conventional energy resources, and this pollution is caused due to the emission of various poisonous gases, namely CO, CO2, NO, NO2, SO, SO2, which are resulting in global warming of the global warming. And whereas if we talk about coal, as we all know, it is the most significant conventional energy resource now used, and it is, apart from using as conventional energy resources, it is also used in various industries for various purposes, like in chemical industries, pharmaceutical industries, and paint industries. As it is used for various purposes in large scale, there is a danger of complete depletion of these coal reserves on the earth. If we talk about nuclear power plants, there is a high risk regarding the waste material that is generated in nuclear power plants. Why? Because as we all know, nuclear energy comes out of radioactive elements, whether natural or artificial. Once the energy that has been generated from these nuclear power plants is using these radioactive elements comes down, these radioactive elements, though there is some amount of radiation left but cannot be used or converted into various forms of energy, is considered to be waste material. Waste material అనగానే అది మొత్తం అసలు ఏమీ ఎనర్జీ లేని పిప్పిలో కూడా ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెరుకు తీసుకున్నప్పుడు చెరుకు నుంచి రసం తీసేటప్పుడు ఒక్కసారిగా తీయరు, దాన్ని 4-5 సార్లు మిషన్లో పెడితే మనకు దాని నుంచి జ్యూస్ రావడం అనేది వస్తూ ఉంటుంది. మనం బాగా ఎప్పుడు గమనించే ఉదాహరణ ఇది. అయితే ఫస్ట్ టైం పెట్టినప్పుడు వచ్చినంత సెకండ్ టైం పెట్టినప్పుడు రాదు, దాన్ని మళ్ళీ ఫోల్డ్ చేసి పెడుతుంటారు. ఆఫ్టర్ 4 or 5 times దెర్ విల్ బీ నో మోర్ షుగర్ కేన్ జ్యూస్. అందులో షుగర్ కేన్ జ్యూసే ఉండదు కాబట్టి ఆ పిప్పిని తీసుకెళ్ళి చెత్తబుట్టలో వేస్తారు. చెత్తబుట్టలో వేసినంత మాత్రాన దాంట్లో తీపిదనం లేకపోయినట్ల, గ్లూకోజ్ లేనట్ట అంటే there will be some amount of glucose existing in the form of fructose, but that cannot be extracted. అంటే దాని యొక్క సహజ గుణమే తీపి. సో మనం దాని నుంచి ఎంత వీలైతే అంత లాగినప్పటికీ ఎంతో కొంత అయితే ఉంటుంది దాంట్లో. ఆ కొంత వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే ఆ చెరుకును ఎక్కడ పడితే అక్కడ డిస్పోజ్ చేయకోకుండా చాలా జాగ్రత్తగా సంచిలో వేసి తీసుకెళ్ళి చాలా దూరం పారేస్తుంటారు. ఎందుకంటే నువ్వు ఊరికే అట్లా చెత్త వేసేసినట్టు రోడ్డు మీద జనరల్గా మన ఇండియాలో జరిగే విషయం, రోడ్డు మీద వేసేసినట్టు చెత్త వేసేసినాం అనుకోండి, అది బాగా చీమలు పట్టడము అంత భయంకరంగా తయారవుతుంది అని అందరికీ తెలుసు. కాబట్టి దాన్ని తీసుకెళ్ళి జాగ్రత్తగా డిస్పోజ్ చేస్తారు. సిమిలర్లీ అవర్ న్యూక్లియర్ పవర్ ప్లాంట్స్లో కూడా the radioactive elements which are used, example uranium, thorium and artificial elements, though ఎనర్జీ కెనాట్ బి జనరేటెడ్, అందులో నుంచి వీలైనంత ఎనర్జీ తీసేసినప్పటికీ లాస్ట్ మిగిలిపోయిన ఎలిమెంట్లో ఖచ్చితంగా ఎంతో కొంత రేడియోయాక్టివ్ రేడియేషన్ అనేది జరుగుతూనే ఉంటుంది. అంటే పుట్టుకతో వచ్చినది అంత తొందరగా పోదు అనే సామెత ఎలా అయితే ఉందో, ఈవెన్ దీస్ యురేనియం ఎలిమెంట్, థోరియం ఎలిమెంట్ అండ్ ప్లూటోనియం హై అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ రేడియేషన్ లేకపోయినప్పటికీ ఏదైతే వేస్ట్ అని పక్కన పడేసి ఉంటారో, ఈవెన్ దట్ వేస్ట్ మెటీరియల్ విల్ ఆల్సో హ్యావ్ సమ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ రేడియేషన్ ఇన్ ఇట్, సిమిలర్ టు అవర్ షుగర్ కేన్. As a result, the dispose of this waste material is a big challenge. For suppose this radioactive, this waste material, ఈ వేస్ట్ మెటీరియల్ని మనం నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేసి ఎక్కడ పడితే అక్కడ పారేసినాం అనుకోండి, there is a danger of that environment to be getting exposed to that radioactivity caused by this waste material, which leads to so many side effects like accidental leakage or severe damage to the environment around the waste material. కాబట్టి the dispose of this waste material itself is a very big challenge which requires lot of safety and precautions to be undertaken, and it has become a very controversial subject which is not so easy to be discussed in general. And hydroelectric ప్లాంట్స్కి వస్తే వాటర్ నుంచి వస్తుంది కాబట్టి ఇందులో మనకు కనిపించేటట్టుగా ఎటువంటి పొల్యూషన్ ఉండదు. కానీ బట్ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్, దీస్ hydroelectric plants when constructed on natural రిజర్వాయర్స్ మీద మనం కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు, అంటే రెండు కొండల మధ్య ఉన్న ఒక వాటర్ ఫాల్స్ దగ్గర కానీ, లేదా వాటర్ రిజర్వాయర్ ఆల్రెడీ ఎప్పటి నుంచో ఉన్న వాటర్ రిజర్వాయర్ దగ్గర కానీ మనం న్యాచురల్గా కండక్ట్ చేస్తున్న చోట పెడితేనేమో ఎప్పటికీ ఆ వాటర్ అలా స్టోరేజ్ ఉండి దట్ లీడ్స్ టు ఎర్త్క్వేక్స్. అలా కాకుండా మనం ఆర్టిఫిషియల్గా ఎక్కడైనా ఒక ప్రదేశాన్ని పెద్ద చెరువులాగా తవ్వేసి మొత్తం క్లియర్ చేసి డ్యామ్ని కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేయడానికి పోతేనేమో దెర్ విల్ బి ఎ లాట్ ఆఫ్ డిస్టర్బెన్స్ క్రియేటెడ్ ఫర్ ద న్యాచురల్ ఎకోసిస్టమ్. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం ఆర్టిఫిషియల్గా చేయాలంటేనేమో ఖచ్చితంగా జనసాంద్రత ఎక్కువ ఉన్న ప్రదేశాల్లో చేయలేము. కాబట్టి వీ హ్యావ్ టు గో టువర్డ్స్ ది ఫారెస్ట్ వేర్ ద ఫారెస్ట్ ఆర్ ద బిగ్ సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆక్సిజన్ and they are the big source of variety of species that are living there, and this will result in lot of loss of forestation area, and also water reservoir అనేది since we are making it to form artificially కాబట్టి the natural eco balance gets damaged to a very large extent in that area where you are artificially going to construct a dam. And ఇంకొకటి, ఫర్ సపోజ్ ఫారెస్ట్ ఏరియాని మనం యాజ్ వీ ఆల్ నో వీఆర్ అండర్ ఎ గ్రేట్ థ్రెట్ రిగార్డింగ్ ది గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ అండ్ ది టెంపరేచర్ రైజ్. మనం ఫారెస్ట్ ఏరియాని చేయకోకుండా జనసాంద్రత ఉన్న చోట జనాలనందరినీ పక్కకు పంపించి చేయాలనుకుంటేనేమో ఇట్ రిక్వైర్స్ అరౌండ్ 40 విలేజెస్ మినిమం అంటే మినిమం 40 ఊర్లను ఖాళీ చేయాల్సి వచ్చిన పరిస్థితి వస్తుంది. అన్ని ఊర్లు ఖాళీ చేయించడం ఒక ఛాలెంజ్ అయితే, అన్ని ఊర్లలో ఉన్న జనాలకు మళ్ళీ మనం ఫెసిలిటీస్ని కల్పించడం, ఇళ్ళని కల్పించడం, వాళ్ళ లైవ్లీహుడ్ని, వాళ్ళ నిత్య జీవితాలను అలా సర్దుబాటు చేయడం, దట్ ఈజ్ అగైన్ అనదర్ బిగ్ ఛాలెంజ్. సో ఏ రకంగా చూసినా కూడా కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఆఫ్ హైడ్రో ఎలక్ట్రిక్ పవర్ ప్లాంట్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో హ్యావింగ్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ వెరీ లార్జ్. Practically, when you go and work at ground level, this becomes a bigger challenge than any other challenges that we are facing using any other resources. ఇప్పుడు కోలు, ఆయిల్, న్యాచురల్ గ్యాస్ వాటి ఛాలెంజెస్తో పోల్చుకుంటే దిస్ ఈజ్ ఏ వెరీ బిగ్ థింగ్ విచ్ లీడ్స్ టు ఎఫెక్ట్ కూడా అలానే ఉంటుంది. దీని నుంచి ప్రొడక్షన్ నుంచి మనకు వచ్చే ప్రోడక్ట్ ఎంత రేంజ్లో ఉంటుందో, ఇలాంటివి కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేయడము, ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేయడం వల్ల వచ్చే సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ అనుకోండి లేదా డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ అనుకోండి, ఈవెన్ దోస్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో ఇన్ లార్జ్ ఎక్స్టెంట్. డిఫారెస్టేషన్ అయిపోతుంది, న్యాచురల్ కెలామిటీస్ గివ్ రైస్ టు ఎర్త్ క్వేక్స్. వేర్ యమునా మీద డ్యామ్ కట్టినప్పుడు వచ్చిన ఎర్త్క్వేక్, దట్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. మొన్న రీసెంట్గా ఉత్తరాఖండ్లో హిమాలయాల పర్వతాల మధ్యలో మనం ప్రధానమంత్రి గారు డ్యామ్ కట్టడానికి మొత్తం శాంక్షన్ చేసేసి కట్టిన తర్వాత మధ్యలో ఒక సగం డ్యామ్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత వచ్చిన వరదలు కూడా, ఇట్ ఈస్ సెడ్ దట్ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో డ్యూ టు ది డిస్టర్బెన్స్ క్రియేటెడ్ ఇన్ ది ఎకోసిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఏరియా. సో ఇలాగా there are huge problems faced in the form of deforestation, ecological disturbances resulting in earthquakes, and dislocation of large population and their rehabilitation. So these are the things that come into picture whenever we talk about conventional energy resources. So in this topic we have successfully tried to give a view regarding the conventional energy resources having their various forms and their usage and their reservoirs. So oil is at a risk, then comes the natural gas, then comes the hydropower. Though it is not నాన్ రెన్యూవబుల్, అంటే ఇది ఎప్పటికీ తగ్గిపోయే ఎనర్జీ కాకపోయినప్పటికీ, but the effects or the disadvantages that we are facing, we have to face is a very huge loss anamata. So even this becomes a big challenge nowadays. Then comes the nuclear energy, which is by itself a big by itself as huge amount of energy we come across using this nuclear energy. Same will be the side effect that is created if not taken precautions in a right way. Now, role of energy in economic development and social